Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie.
Today we're reacting to a public hearing, Assembly Committee on Education, on Assembly Bill 100, designating sports teams operated by public-private schools based on sex of participants. So this lady is going to be speaking out against that.
The sex-based participation?
Separating men from women's sports.
Yeah, so sex-based participation in sport. She's speaking out against that.
Yeah.
She's not an athlete. She's none of those things. She's girly girl. She's more girly girl than me. On paper, medically, she's just as much as a girl as every single other one of those girls in there. She has a penis. Guess what? It's flaccid. 90-something% of the time, it is flaccid.
Whoa, wait. There's so many things there.
The fact that you have to identify that the penis is flaccid is half the problem. Easily half the problem.
Why do you know that?
What the fact that you have to clarify that it's flaccid shows that you know that there are men going into these spaces with an attraction. It shows that you know that. It also shows that you know that your son could be doing the same thing. But you're saying he's not. It's also weird to have that much information about your son, but it also shows that you're showing a penis to young girls. And you're trying to justify that by saying it's flaccid. Yeah. You have to look at this penis because it's not hard.
It's flaccid, and that penis is just as girly as all those other little girls.
And their penises...
Anti-penises.
Vaginas. They have vaginas because they're girls. That's a boy.
But
that's why he has got a penis.
But he's just as much as the girl as all those other girls. He just has a flaccid penis, and they have no penis.
I've never heard a trans man say, well, I should be able to get changed with the guys. I'm not getting wet.
Ew.
It's the same thing.
I know, but ew.
Just because you can't see it, it's the same concept. And you don't hear that. No one would ever be defending trans men with that argument. So why are you defending any trans women, regardless of if they are or not trans, you know what I mean, truly trans? Mm-hmm. Why are you judging them based on their arousal levels?
Why do you know about your son's arousal level?
It's insane to be, because transitioning, right, has to do with your gender identity, not your sexual identity.
Right.
So your transition should have nothing to do with your sexual desire, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So why does it have anything to do with sexual desire at all?
Why do you think?
Because they're worried that, he's gonna rape them. Mm-hmm. Oh, but his dick's not even hard. How's he gonna rape them? Is what she's saying. That's what I'm hearing.
This is all so twisted.
Yeah.
You talk to my daughter?
If you could
I
wrap
don't
it
even
up,
think
please.
she's even had an orgasm yet.
My God. Why?
You wonder why this kid's all f***ing transitioning and shit? It's because the mom's too far up their f***ing ass about everything. Trying to find out if they f***ing orgasmed or not yet.
But the mom is even more involved now.
That's what I'm saying. The mom probably fucked up the kid by being overly involved in every part of the kid's life. Which is why the son feels like he has to be a daughter to get along with his mother.
And talk to his mom about orgasming.
Because the mother wants to.
You know that's screaming like pet vibes, right?
I know. It's definitely... Like, I don't believe in talking about those kind of sexual things with your children unless... Like, if they ask you questions, different scenario. Because that's your child asking you a question. And they're trusting you to ask the question. But to be a parent asking your child that is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, to be a parent saying this out in public about your child is really disgusting.
To not be ashamed of the fact that you asked your child that. To broadcast it, yes.
Yeah, like, where's the privacy?
None.
Hey, listen, son, I went to this meeting, this assembly meeting with all these adults there, and I told them, you have a flaccid penis and you've never had an orgasm. That is messed up.
Mm-hmm. And this is a high school age kid, right?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah, so this poor kid who's already, let's say, for the mere sake of arguing that this is a trans woman who feels like a woman.
You mean a child who is being transitioned?
Let's say that they
continue.
Let's say that they continue on the path and they're happy with the path, right? you're still sitting there and having your mother talk about your sex life in front of anyone and everyone.
You mean lack
online.
of sex life.
Either way.
And your genitals.
Either way. Same idea.
To make the point that you belong...
You're not a harm to anyone. You're a fucking incel.
I'm disturbed on new levels.
It should be disturbing.
She's never been with anybody. She's not even interested in it. Big scary predator, she is not. And I welcome any questions about her.
She's not even interested in anybody. What does that tell you? The kid has probably been on puberty blockers and hormones, which completely eradicates any sexual drive, right?
Which would explain why the mom's like, the penis is flaccid.
Right, because you pretty much just castrated your son and then just told everyone about the ins and outs and details about not only the lack of their sex life, their sex drive, but also about their penis.
It's possible that this child has
Like,
only
whoa.
experienced erections like a handful of times too, like as a older teenager, because of the puberty blockers.
Yeah.
It's possible that they've never even experienced like an erection. I'm not talking about orgasm. I mean like having an erection, which I'm not experienced with, but I've heard is very difficult to manage, which is why a lot of young guys who are gay go on puberty blockers because their erections scare them.
But if they've never had one, then
Or if they've only had a few, like very few of them, they didn't ever learn how to like manage their genitals, if that makes sense.
Okay, so a little boy who gets scared of his erection transitions like a little girl who gets scared of her body changing transitions.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Same idea.
So if this little boy has never had an erection, why, I mean, this whole fucking conversation is so disturbing, but why would he be transitioning?
We're not saying that he's never had an erection. We're saying that he's only had a few erections and they're scary to him. Because he doesn't understand how they happen, why they happen, how to control them from happening, etc., etc. Bad timing when it happens, never, like, that's what I've heard at least. And I know, like, as a female, I've felt very grateful that I don't have a penis, because I'm sure that would be a very hindering thing in certain moments of your life, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I mean, if girls do it and they don't have a big old tent popping in their pants, then I can see 100% why some guys do it, especially if they're gay or more shy. I can 100% see why they'd be scared of it and want to run from it, especially since they're so young.
What are the odds that this mother is single?
Hi.
I'm going to say 100% on that one.
Hi.
So that's the end of, I think that's the end of that. Let me just make sure.
I'm sure that for that poor child, it's not the end of that.
No, that there's going to be a lot more, unfortunately, for that kid. And I think the whole issue he has started with his mother.
Yeah, and so that's what makes it so sad and so
Disturbing?
yeah, because you're scared of the males in the female bathrooms, but you should also, I mean, I know you are, but I'm just saying in general, you should also be scared of the kids who are being influenced to think like this and act like this because of their parents. This kid could be harmless. I'm not saying he's gonna go and, sexually assault these girls. These girls shouldn't have to see his penis. They shouldn't have to be around him when he undresses. They shouldn't have to compete with him. I agree with all of those things. But I also think that he could have been gaslit and manipulated into this situation.
Yeah, I mean,
Out of fear, out of his mother's prerogative.
yeah, you take one look at that mother and you pretty much have the whole picture painted for you.
And yes, it is scary because you don't know every trans individual walking into the bathroom. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily think, just based off of what I've heard, that he's the one we're scared of.
Right. But,
I think he's been manipulated.
Right, but now you're allowing that one little boy to mess with a whole slew of girls and their mental health.
Yes,
because you're
over his one condition.
Yeah, because now he's exposing himself and making other little girls uncomfortable, and you're taking away the parents' right to explain to them sexuality because now all of a sudden there's a penis and they're like, whoa, okay, and then that would scare a lot of little girls because I know it did for a lot of little girls that I knew.
I'm not justifying.
When I was a kid,
I'm not
it's
justifying.
very scary.
Yeah, it is.
That like really messes with a little girl's
Yes.
head when it's just like, hey, little girl, penis, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And I'm not justifying him wanting to participate in women's or girls' anything. I'm not supporting that. I'm simply saying that I'm not blaming him directly for the actions his mother has clearly enforced his whole life.
But what about when he turns 18?
Well, he gets to decide what to do from then, and that's on him. I'm just saying, as of right now, he's obviously been gaslit. And I will continue to say what I said before, which is that I don't think he's the problem walking in our bathrooms. I haven't met this kid, I haven't seen. I could change my opinion as soon as I see him. You never know. But just...
Is he the problem when he walks into little girls' bathrooms?
Yes, but the problem is that he's currently a minor also. So
Right.
if he's going into a female bathroom, he's going into a little girl's bathroom.
So pretty much what we're getting to is it's the adult's fault.
It is, and that's why you shouldn't be as mad at the kids who are transitioning. I'm not mad at them. They're confused. They're misled. Mm-hmm. I'm mad at the adults that let them do it. I'm mad at the fact that they never got shown the light of day. But it's kind of like
Options.
It's kind of just, you can't blame the child for the fault of the parent.
Right.
Once they're 18 and onwards, yes, they should know better, but it's just obviously the parent is off.
They were never told that, hey, you can have a masculine part of yourself and a feminine part of yourself.
You can be super feminine but have a penis, and you're still not a woman.
Right.
Because you have a penis.
You can have two parts of yourself at the same time and not have to have any sort of medication or surgical intervention. You could just be you. But it's the activists and these crazy mothers who are also activists and the doctors and the therapists who all just, it's greed, it's money. They want to manipulate and they do manipulate. And the next thing you know, you're all medicated up and weird shit's happening to your body and a lot of things you didn't expect because no one told you about the side effects. And you're like, well, what happened? And it's like, well, they took your money. That's what they wanted. When they could have just told you, hey, you could be a feminine man or a masculine woman, and then, one day you want to wear a dress and the other day you want to wear sweatpants. You don't have to go through the surgery and the medication and all that. You could just be you. The only people who are benefiting off of this isn't the people going through the transition. It's the doctors, it's the therapists, it's the surgeons, it's all those crazy people, it's the teachers, it's all them.
And the people that do benefit have thought long and hard and gone into the process, usually with therapy and guidance.
Yeah, but there's no therapy and guidance anymore. They're all activists now.
And without therapy and guidance, you're going to end up going down a rabbit hole of things that you don't know, and you don't know if you can handle experience-wise. You don't know if you're actually willing to change your life in that direction for. And I think that's why I want to bring attention to things like the children. They don't know any better. They're doing this. This is all brand new to them and most people around them. And it's something they don't understand. And if you were raised to believe that you were the opposite gender, and if your parents told you that, it's just the same as the religion. Most people have the same religion of their parents because it's what they were taught. It's what they were raised with. Gender ideology is the same thing.
It's a belief system that's
embedded in you by beliefs that you're taught.
But it's embedded in the systems too.
Yeah.
So there could be actual facts about side effects, about it not being reversible. And because the activists are everywhere within this system of transitioning, they're not going to tell you that because that goes against their work.
Everything they've been fighting for.
Right. So they're actually willing to do harm in order to cover their ass and make money.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of system, I'm using that word loosely, that mothers and parents are putting their children into. A system that's completely broken, that has no barriers, guidelines. It has no, we're supposed to tell you about side effects. We have a system in case you want to detransition. They don't have any of that.
I think it's funny to me that they're so willing, they're so holistic in a lot of other ways, where they're like, I want herbal remedies, I want to smoke my weed, and that's all I want for medication. But when it comes to gender ideology, they'll pump them full of anything and everything possible, and completely ignore the fact that, I'm not saying when they're kids, but when they're 18, 21, they could take some mushrooms and completely fucking forget about the whatever gender, whatever fucking bullshit they had. Because I've heard a lot of people that take mushrooms and they change their mindset on something completely. And
because they saw it in a different way.
Yeah, and that's why I say, when it's legal, lawful, whatever you want to say, they could have an experience, drugged or not drugged, that makes them change their perspective. And a lot of people need that, just to change their perspective. And it's ironic to me that for such holistic people, they don't want to take that holistic approach of, what if you're just okay without medical intervention?
Well, then how are they going to make money? How are they going to keep their jobs?
I'm talking about the moms and the kids and everyone who buys into the propaganda. They're holistic motherfuckers. The people that work for Big Pharma obviously aren't, or else they wouldn't be making money.
You're talking about the activists specifically
Yeah.
that aren't the professionals.
Yes, the activists specifically, not the medical professionals, because they obviously know that there's a benefit from the medical end, which is that they make more money.
Well, they're just obsessed with this ideology, this like brain programming. It's very much like Severance, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Very that like Keir cult mentality. You know, hail Keir. Chosen one, Keir.
Very culty.
It's very much like that, yeah.
And that is ironic that they're so holistic, but with this, God forbid that you take the holistic approach of saying, maybe there's nothing wrong with the genitals you have, but the mindset you have. Like, no one ever fucking takes the time to do that.
They don't really even ask.
No, they'd rather just be like, oh, you feel like you have gender dysphoria? Here's a needle. Stick yourself with cross-sex hormones.
Yeah, they don't ask questions because they're not allowed to.
It's crazy.
That's not therapy. That's indoctrination.
That's not therapy. That's basically like signing up to get a drug ad pumped into you.
A drug ad?
Like a drug commercial, pharmaceutical commercial. Mm-hmm. Instead of going to therapy and getting help for your problems, it's basically like paying to have a drug commercial given to you in person. Here you are, take this, this, and this, because then you won't have this, this, and this. The side effects are this, this, and this.
They really don't tell you side effects. They really keep that shit
On the DL.
Yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe, join our memberships, comment below, and, well, we'll see you in the next one.
What would you do if this was your mom?
Myself.
Leave your comment below.
Oh, why'd you have to go and do that? Thought we had a good thing going. Now I'm going to fall a little off track since you broke the mold. Take something for the pain and regret for having invested so much time.